What's good? AJ, oh, damn, I was about to say AJJ special report. This is Matrix versus reality. I think part 35, 34, 35. I didn't put no number next to the transcendence. Oh, should I say the word? Damn. But yeah, I had to say it for context. But yeah, I did put a number next to the last one I did, but I think it's 35. Well, shout out to everybody. About to talk about Watch Dogs. If you haven't played Watch Dogs before, check it out. It's like another open world game, something like Grand Theft Auto, Saints Row, but it it separates itself because it's about hacking. One man with a cell phone can turn the whole environment into your fucking playground. That's what I loved about the game. The game was that fucking cool. I thought it was unique. Salute, live and learn. What up, though? I just got off of work not too long ago. Had to come in and fix my fucking controller. That took a bitch and a half. That was a bitch and a half. I'm trying to fix my PS4 controller because I don't want to buy shit. So I opened up that bitch with my screws and tools and shit. Trying to fix so I can play my PS4 and see if it do work. Then Hurricane is about to be fixing controllers and systems for a hefty price. Shouts out. But yeah, let me know if y'all hear me. My phone been on some bullshit, and I think it's just the I think it's the service. But yeah, if this controller works, then I'm charging niggas. If this shit work, I'm charging. I would be cleaning and fixing systems. Well, I don't know about fixing, but I can fix the controller. If this controller is properly fixed, I'm definitely doing it. But when it comes to cleaning systems, I could definitely do that. I got the tools. I got the tools. There's a lot of kids and teenagers on the block that probably got games and systems and shit. They need it clean. I clean it. Repair. I might do a repair shit. I might do the repair shit for 50. If you want me to repair your shit, like the controller. Okay, I can't repair the system, but I could repair a controller though. Not repair it, but like the thing about PS4 when it comes to controllers, they have some shit called stick drift. If I can fix that stick drift, it's over. Because it's like that's the main problem with the controller. But with the system, all you gotta do is open that bitch up, grab some Q-tips, clean that hole, and you good. But at the same time, systems like these newer systems are fucking sensitive as shit. You gotta be fucking careful. Super fucking careful. The older systems, you open that bitch up, you do a little cleaning, close the bitch back up, and your shit working. Some controllers don't even open up at all. You're gonna have to just motherfucker have insurance and get a new one. That's the bullshit. But yeah, I'm in the process of doing that. Cause I'm a hustler, baby. But anyway, um, I still got one more controller to fix. I just fixed one of them. I'm about to do both. I still got to give me some rest. But at the same time, I still got to drop this motherfucking video. Because there ain't going to be no Detroit After Dark tonight. So I'll drop something right now, drop something in the afternoon. Two things in the afternoon. Or whatever. Probably drop a song. This, another video, song probably. Who knows how I go. I'm just going with the flow. You know. Shout out to everybody. But about to talk about Watch Dogs real quick. And then we'll get up out of here. Up, 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 up. Up. That shit not supposed to be doing that. Press of a button. This shit's supposed to be connected. Why is it still playing?
The Bluetooth device is connected successfully.
Thanks, computer. Prepare to fucking engage. Watch Dogs. Crime series that saw 3 main games from 2014 to 2020. It set itself apart from similar games, particularly Grand Theft Auto, by designing its gameplay and systems around hacking. With the simple press of a button, a city's infrastructure can become your weapon, from blowing up
power on.
Raising bridges and roadblocks.
The Bluetooth device is ready to pair. The Bluetooth device is connected successfully.
If the feeds present. The bitch is fully charged. Why is it doing
power
that? On. Oh my fucking god. Okay. Can be executed just as easily in the real world as explained by MatPat. If that topic interests you, I'll link his videos down in the description. But for me, I care more for the world of Watch Dogs and the subject matter it chose to cover. The first game takes place during 2012 in Chicago, which in the universe of Watch Dogs became America's first ever smart city run by a single computer operating system known as CTOS. It handles everything from telecommunications to policing, transportation, surveillance, data collection, and other parts of day-to-day operations. CTOS is owned by a company called Bloom, and through them, Watch Dogs is able to cover topics like digital surveillance, the collection of private data, predictive algorithms, and so on, all of which are still incredibly relevant today, 12 years after the first game released in 2014. Back when the general audience wasn't nearly as concerned as they are now about their digital privacy, and is all the more impressive considering that the game's development started in 2010, 3 years before the Snowden leaks. In May of 2013, NSA contractor Edward Snowden fled the country and traveled to Hong Kong, China, with thousands of classified documents stored inside of his computer. He contacted journalists from The Guardian, asked them to meet with him at the hotel he was staying at, and over the course of 8 days, they conducted interviews and discussions about the contents present within the classified documents. On June 5th, The Guardian broke the news regarding leaks, and over the following days, additional reports came out exposing the true scope and capabilities of Western state surveillance. In short, the Snowden leaks confirmed what some assumed already, that world governments from America to England, Canada, and more have been collecting the data of every single citizen within their own country. Everything from phone calls to emails, search histories, social media posts. And still, no one has done shit. I'm the only one preparing for the revolution. I'm the only one preparing for the revolution. It's like when you find out that your government is watching you, then it's like people just blow it off. It's like, why would you blow this off? They're watching your every move. The shit that was in movies is reality now. They're watching you. Your privacy is done. It's like, why is nobody in an outrage about this? Second, why is nobody outraged about us being killed through the food, through the water, through the air, through the disease? You know what I'm saying? Bullshit. You know, force some motherfuckers to become a fucking hacker and a pirate just to protect their fucking privacy. And their freedom of speech, freedom of expression. Oh yeah, breaking news. Breaking fucking news. Oh, High Anime. The creators of High Anime got they got locked up. They got motherfucking locked up. And it's because it's a pirated site. And like I said, you know, like the pirates and hackers are going to be fucking raining. But like what happened was with High Anime, you know, they made too much money. They flew too close to the fucking sun and got shot down. They protect themselves fully. That's one thing about pirates and hackers. You got to protect your fucking self, because if you making bread off of unlicensed shit, you know, like they're going to come after you. That's just going to fucking happen. But you have to protect yourself. You know, like why people not protecting themselves, I do not know. Pirates and hackers got to work together on this one. Now, since they got locked up, it's going to, one, discourage other motherfuckers for not going to pirated sites or doing some pirate shit, period, because they scared of getting locked up. And another bad thing is, since they cracking down on anime, a lot of shit that, you know, that's new, that's unreleased, that we might not even never see nothing like that again. And most creators are bitching out, like, oh my God, I gotta make clean content. even if you have dialogue, they'll tell you to take it out. It's like you don't even gotta have fan service. They just crack it down on your freedom of speech, freedom of expression, your creativity, your imagination. So that's why I say they can fuck these motherfuckers. We're going underground with it, and we're gonna build our own conglomerate, and we're gonna be separate from the mainstream shit. Y'all can have the faggot shit. Y'all can have the faggot shit. Salute eyes wide shut. And the faggot shit, that motherfucking propaganda shit, that political bullshit, I can have it. We want real storyline, dialogue, character development, cinematography, great choreography when it comes to action scenes, and last but not least, our fucking fan service. We get that with anime and manga. We don't get that with the bullshit that they created over here since 2016. But anyway, let's get back to it.
Webcam images and so on, which were both intercepted as well as obtained legally through the use of secret court orders. The leaks implicated companies like Google, Facebook, Microsoft, and Apple, with the documents also revealing that some U.S. intelligence officers possessed unregulated access to the collected data. Snowden himself made it clear that agents had the power to digitally wiretap anybody from around the world as long as they had an email address. From every one of you watching this video right now, to foreign officials, CEOs, and even leaders of countries, including the President of the United States. He exposed this information to the public because governments weren't just spying on suspected criminals and terrorists, they were collecting and storing the data of everyone, including law-abiding citizens. Many, and I'll go on record including myself, view this as a direct violation of the Fourth Amendment, which is supposed to protect Americans from unlawful searches and seizures. While the legality of the NSA's actions was a bit murky at best, there was a clear fallout from the Snowden leaks. The 2015 USA Freedom Act ended the NSA's bulk collection of phone data, tech companies began to put security as a selling point, and more people became conscious of not just the surveillance capabilities of the government, but of their own digital privacy. Unfortunately, digital surveillance and data collection did not end there. It shifted. While the government definitely surveils its own citizens in ways we are and are not aware of, tech companies arguably possess more power and information than the government could ever dream of. This brings us back to Watch Dogs, which doesn't frame surveillance as something conducted by the government, but as something handled by a private company. If you're anything like me, and were interested in seeing what the first game had to say about these topics, you're gonna be disappointed. Instead of focusing on Bloom and CTOS, the main narrative of Watch Dogs is all about the revenge arc of Aiden Pierce. Prior to the events of the main game, Aiden took part in a hack that went wrong, which led to the most feared mob boss in Chicago putting out a contract on his life. The assassination attempt on Aiden was unsuccessful. However, it did his niece Lena passing away in a car crash. So instead of going after corrupt government officials and corporations, Aiden is simply a man out for revenge against those responsible for the death of his niece. He just so happens to be a hacker who uses the city's infrastructure and surveillance technology in order to accomplish his goals. But you could remove this aspect of his character and it wouldn't change the story all that much. Any sort of commentary on data collection or surveillance is either surface level or just background noise. Yes, you could hear citizens criticizing the fact that they can't take a piss in an alley without being spied on, and there are moments where Aiden will act shocked when he finds out Bloom is storing intimate moments of everyday citizens, but he doesn't say anything of substance. All you'll get from Aiden is how this is bad, but he never explains why.
How much of this data is CTOS collecting? Where's it stored? What are they doing with this?
What are they doing? What's going on? Now, obviously, not everything needs an explanation. For instance, we all can agree that it's wrong for a company to record people having intercourse, but this whole conversation around digital privacy is so much deeper than that. There are many people out there who think to themselves, well, I'm not doing anything illegal, so I don't care if the government knows what I'm up to. And if you, the one watching this video, can relate to that statement, I don't blame you because I used to think that very same way. But let me read you a quote from one of the greatest American patriots of our time, Edward Snowden. Arguing that you don't care about the right to privacy because you have nothing to hide is no different than saying you don't care about free speech because you have nothing to say. Whenever there's a new product or piece of legislation that is...
Ooh, that's deep. It's like, if you feel that sentiment of, you don't got nothing to hide. Well, then when it comes to freedom of speech, you don't care about what we going through because your bitch ass don't got nothing to say. And that's hilarious. And this is why no one is doing nothing. This is why most ain't doing nothing. They're like, shit, nigga, I got nothing to hide. The government can do whatever they want. Come and check me. When it comes to freedom of speech, oh shit, I already got nothing to say. I love my government. I love religion. Yeah, so it's like, all I got to say is target practice.
Obviously infringing upon people's privacy, it will always always be marketed as a necessary evil in order to make the public safer. Just look at the Patriot Act.
And that's the bullshit. Necessary evil to make the public safer. And he about to go off into the Patriot Act. Oh, yes, I hate that shit because that gave the government the right to spy on all of us when they supposed to be going after the so-called terrorists, but ain't no such thing. Because we blew up our own fucking buildings. Yeah. 2 planes hit building. 2 planes. 2 planes. 3 buildings fall. Make that make sense. Say it one time. 2 planes. But 3 buildings fall. All right. You can't talk about 9/11 without talking about building 7. Shout out to everybody. Hope everybody having a cool day, cool afternoon, cool evening, cool night. This ain't gonna be a long video.
Which, among many things, expanded and strengthened the government's surveillance capabilities in order to protect the country from terrorists. This is something that watchdogs actually got right with Bloom. Throughout the city, advertisements can be seen displaying facts about how CTOS is making the city safer, and there were 2 that caught my eye. Fact number 12, CTOS solves crimes before they happen. Fact number 25, crime is down 28% compared to the previous year. These signs stood out to me because I've seen these exact same claims by a surveillance company in the real world. Here I am in Glassboro, New Jersey, one of the fastest growing towns in the state, mainly due to the expansion of Rowan University. From 2010 to 2020, Glassboro's population increased by 25%, from 18,500 to a little more than 23. And with any urban area that sees an increase in population density, crime is going to be a major talking point. It seems most people agree that Glassboro is becoming an unsafe place, not just from its own population, but because people are coming from out of town in order to experience the college party scene.
We want to get back to that breaking news we told you about at the top of the newscast. Police responded to a shooting just feet from the Rowan University sign early this morning.
Glassboro police releasing this home surveillance video showing a group of burglars scramble to different houses.
University officials say the number of teens making up this flash mob was overwhelming.
All I saw was people turn around and just deck another girl in the face. Out of nowhere, I looked to my left, there's a chair just flying.
And sources say 2 bodies were found inside of the home. This is now a homicide investigation.
However, crime in Glassboro is statistically at an all-time low and severely below the national average in every single violent and non-violent statistic. Some would argue that I'm standing in front of a big reason why, which a few of you may recognize as an ALPR camera, also known as an automated license plate reader. More of them are popping up every day, as there are now over 100,000 across the country, more than 80% of which are owned by a company known as Flock Safety. Since starting out in 2017, Flock has grown 70% year over year and is currently valued between $7 and $8 billion. According to their website, they're a public safety technology company that builds connected camera, audio, and investigative systems in order to help communities and law enforcement respond to crime. Flock sells their AI-powered cameras and surveillance technologies to retail chains, police departments, and government agencies in order to build up a connected surveillance network. These cameras record every single vehicle that passes by, not just the license plates, but the make, model, color, and other visual identifiers, including bumper stickers, decals, roof racks, and body damage, along with the date and time. This information is stored for up to 30 days and turned into searchable data points. Additionally, whenever there are multiple Flock cameras in an area like there are here in Glassboro, law enforcement can easily establish a trail of where and when a vehicle has traveled. More importantly, Flock cameras have the ability to alert authorities to vehicles on a hot list, like cars that have been reported as stolen or vehicles belonging to a driver who has an arrest warrant. However, instead of making communities safer, Flock has quickly developed a history of putting ordinary people in harm's way. Out of the millions of cars that pass by Flock cameras every single day, occasionally false positives will be generated. This could be for several reasons, but mainly due to machine error, either due to bad weather, camera angles, or straight up mistaking letters and numbers on license plates. Regardless, whenever a false positive happens, police officers are notified, attempt to find the vehicle, and initiate a traffic stop, which can unnecessarily put innocent people in dangerous situations. In Oak Park, Illinois, between August 2022 and May 2023, researchers found that 40% of traffic stops initiated by Flock safety alerts were mistakes.
40%. 40% of what those Flock cameras were doing was wrong. So what's the point of having this shit? Y'all putting innocent people's lives in danger, and y'all having them going through a fucking inconvenience on their way to work or on their way home. 40% is too damn high. That's close to half. That's close to half. So y'all putting these Flock cameras out all over the goddamn place. 40% of it don't work. Mind you, this is across the country. So what's going to happen when they get up to 60%? Motherfuckers going to be afraid to go outside or drive their fucking car. This shit going to be crazy. This is to instill fear in motherfuckers. This is to make, how can I put it? Are people stupid? We're telling you that they're watching us. They're doing shit to show you that they watch us. Are people just fucking stupid? Or are people really that afraid of our government? Most of y'all bitch ass fuckers are Christian. I thought no weapon formed against y'all shall prosper, but y'all really fear this fucking government. But I forgot. It says slaves obey your earthly masters. I keep on forgetting.
In Washington, a flock camera pinged a car belonging to a man whose son had an arrest warrant. Even though the vehicle was registered to the father who was innocent, police showed up to his house and falsely detained him, not realizing it was actually the son they were after. Again, like I said earlier in this video, whenever there's new technology or legislation that infringes upon people's privacy, it will always be presented as a necessary evil. Some of you watching may look at
And they keep on saying necessary evil. Necessary evil. You know the key word is evil. It shouldn't be no necessary evil anything. None of that bullshit.
false positives as something we have to put up with in order to make our country safer.
Nigga, fuck the bullshit. I'm killing the motherfucker. Come to me with that bullshit. I'm killing the cop.
I mean, just look at what Flock Safety is claiming. According to them, 20% of crimes across the country are solved with Flock cameras, and some areas have seen a reduction in crime as high as 70%. Where are they getting these stats from? Themselves?
Yep.
I mean, they make these claims on their own self-published blogs and have absolutely zero sources cited, so I guess they're just making them up. Apparently, they haven't heard the term correlation doesn't equal causation. Just because you install Flock cameras in an area that ends up seeing a reduction in crime doesn't mean it was because of the cameras themselves. Let's go back to Glassboro for a second.
Exactly.
Yes, Flock cameras have been popping up a lot in that town recently, and yes, it's true that crime in Glassboro is statistically at an all-time low, but it's not because of the cameras. Crime in Glassboro has seen a steep decline ever since the 90s, just like the rest of the country. But no, Flock is making all these claims about how their cameras make people safer and solve crimes, which has led to more license plate readers popping up across the country. But I'm here to tell you that false positives are not the only bad thing about these systems. Law enforcement does not need a warrant in order to use Flock's searchable AI-driven database, and most departments have little safeguards in place to prevent abuse. In September of 2025, a Denver woman received a knock on her door by a police officer who claimed she stole a $25 package. His evidence? Flock camera footage which only showed that her vehicle was in the neighborhood when the theft occurred.
Wow.
Nothing else. She was presumed guilty and had to prove her innocence on her own, which thankfully she did. That's without even mentioning the numerous reports and complaints of officers using the Flock system to stalk romantic interests, which has happened at least 18 times within recent years. This past March, a Milwaukee
Motherfucker stalking his love interest. Let me check these Flock cameras to see if my bitch cheating. Vice versa. Let me check these Flock cameras to see if my nigga cheating. You see? That right there. I always feel like somebody's watching me.
police officer resigned after allegedly using the department's network of cameras in order to track his partner and one of her exes nearly 180 times within a 2-month period. His misconduct only surfaced after his victims looked up their license plates on haveibeenflock.com, which thankfully collects Flock audit data that some states and local governments make public. Not only that, but Flock is marketing their cameras and systems as a way to stop crimes before they even happen, what some refer to as future crimes. Which, do you guys remember those two signs I
Minority
pointed out in
Report.
Watch
Yeah,
Dogs?
Minority Report type
But
shit.
dissimilar, am I right? But unfortunately, things in the real world are not as simple as they are in Watch Dogs. There isn't one corporation in control of everything like with Bloom. Surveillance and data collection is
But it's about to be. But it's about to be. Hashtag Palantir.
fragmented across hundreds of different companies. Flock isn't even the only one that specializes in camera surveillance. Amazon's Ring is another one that also works with law enforcement, giving them access to requested data without a warrant. If you're wondering why law enforcement doesn't need a warrant in order to get your information from private companies, it's... Hello? Party doctrine, which states that once you're... Well said. If you're wondering why law enforcement doesn't need a warrant in order to get your information from companies, it's because of the third-party doctrine, which states that once your data leaves your hands, it's no longer yours, but now the private company that possesses it. I don't want those watching this video to feel like there's nothing we can do, because your voice does matter, and when we all band together, we can make a difference.
Yeah, with some guns.
Across the country.
Yeah, talking about band together, we can make a difference. There's only certain places, I think maybe like 2 or 3 places, where motherfuckers protested the data center and they won. But when it comes to protesting on people, telling people to stop with these flock cameras, stop watching us with the surveillance, that's a domino effect. It triggers with the company, all the way down to the law enforcement, all the way down to the feds. Thank you, phone. Bling, bling, bling. All agree. And the feds and the cops is not going to stop watching you. And the corporations are also funding the government and the fucking military. Palantir been fucking with the military way before we even knew anything about them. They was helping motherfucking military out during which war? Either the Afghan or the Iraq war. Palantir was already boots on the ground. We didn't even know shit about them. You know, so now it's like, fuck it. We made all this money, government contracts, military shit. Now it's time to watch the fucking world. You know, they've been putting in work since the early 2000s. Under our nose. You feel me? But what gives everything away is people do not remember this movie by Will Smith called Enemy of the State. Will Smith, Gene Hackman, whole bunch of other stars. Tom Sizemore. I think Tom Sizemore was the bad guy in that movie. Gene Hackman was in it. Lisa Bonet, Jamie Kennedy, Jack Black, a lot of people was in the movie. And everybody chasing Will Smith.
There have been multiple grassroots campaigns that have successfully convinced local towns and cities to cancel their partnership with Flock. In fact, 30 municipalities have either deactivated their cameras or have canceled their contracts with Flock entirely, not just because the public doesn't trust surveillance technologies, but because they don't want their data in the hands of a private company that has openly handed over information to government agencies like ICE. So does Watch Dogs say anything about what we can do? Not really. But like I said, the game's focus isn't on...
Right, not really. Only played the first Watch Dogs. The first Watch Dogs was a revenge story. There's a nigga that's a hacker, a hack job going wrong. A Chicago mob boss tried to kill him, but end up missing, killing his niece. So the nigga on a revenge mission to kill everybody that was associated with fucking killing his niece. It's a revenge story all the way through. And yes, there's dialogue about hacking and certain shit, but it's just like how unique the game is, period. And it's like the movie Hackers or the movie Antitrust, but in the modern day. Your cell phone is your weapon. Yes, it may be a tracking device, but it can also be a fucking weapon. That's the crazy shit. You could turn a nigga phone into a fucking bomb. Y'all heard what the Irans did with the pager shits? You can put a motherfucking bomb inside of a fucking page. You can put a bomb inside of a cell phone. Oh, y'all don't believe me? Look online and watch people cell phones blowing up in a fucking hand or blowing up in a pocket, pants catching on fire, niggas flipping the fuck out. It's possible.
Operations collecting data.
The game does say what the fuck we can do. Kill they motherfucking ass. Revenge, motherfucker.
For surveilling the public, it's mainly interested in telling a revenge story. To be fair to the first game, Ubisoft did begin working on it in a world before the Snowden leaks, and by the time that happened in 2013, Watch Dogs was less than a year away from releasing. But Watch Dogs did get 2 more games that released over the following 6 years, so let's see if they gave any more relevant commentary compared to the first attempt.
Now, I ain't played the part 2 or Watch Dogs Legion. But he about to get off into it, which made me want to play it. I think I want to play part 2. I got a P4. I should get that bitch for the P4. Shit should be about like $20 or $30.
I ain't played the other 2 Watch Dogs. I heard it look more realistic. And it kind of do, for sure.
Watch Dogs 2. Grab you a brew. Watch Dogs 2.
As soon as you start Watch Dogs 2, you can immediately notice how different the story is compared to the first game. Not just with its more comedic and jolly tone, but with its main villains, themes, and storylines. The opening mission sees main character Marcus infiltrating a CTOS data center where he discovers that Bloom creates profiles of every single citizen within San Francisco. When he checks out his own profile, he discovers that CTOS has labeled him as a high-risk individual for breaking and entering, loitering, having a broken taillight, suspicious purchases, and more. The profile also contains other information and data about Marcus, including his search history, recent credit card transactions, as well as locations where his face, license plate, and cell phone were pinged. Again, Watch Dogs 2 separates itself from the previous game by not just saying this is bad, but by explaining why.
All of that data in one place means they can reject your fucking application before you click on it.
Yep.
Congratulations, you have been pre-rejected for our credit card. Or your house, or your insurance.
That's not even the worst case scenario. All that data in the hands of the government, they'll arrest you for shit before you even do it.
Yeah, I've been there. I don't fucking know why.
Even though Watch Dogs 2 came out less than 3 years after the first game, the sequel is far more relevant to the modern day. That's because the story focuses on data and AI, specifically how corrupt corporations use them to fuck over ordinary people and get rich in the process. Still, it's a video game, so much of what we see either isn't painted in the most realistic of ways, or it's just based upon rumors and speculation instead of confirmed facts. Let's take a look at the CTOS profiles that I mentioned a second ago. It seems to me like a version of a social credit score, which if that sounds familiar, it's because it's something often brought up when discussing China. Now, unlike what Western media would have you believe, the entirety of China does not have a social credit score. According to a Stanford research report, only 19 out of China's 330 cities actually run the full system. However, by no means am I defending it. It's a system that rewards and punishes behaviors categorized by the government. It's an inherently flawed system that's built with the sole purpose of expanding the government's control over its population. People wonder whether or not America has its own version of a social credit score. And if you ask Google, you're going to get a definitive no. However, I'm willing to argue that America does have one. Just that it's fragmented and driven by the private sector. Of course, everyone has a credit score, which grades their financial responsibility, rewarding those who possess high scores with better interest rates, while also preventing those with poor scores the ability to secure loans necessary for houses, cars, and education. Credit scores are the most obvious grading system for American citizens. However, there's so much more going on behind the scenes that the majority are not aware of, like data brokers. A lot of people think that they only companies direct highly specific and targeted ads at you, so you only see the things that you're interested in. But I wish that were the case, because unfortunately, data brokers know every single thing about you and are willing to sell that information to anyone who wants to buy it. They know your favorite pieces of media, what kind of diet and medication you're on, the mental and physical diseases you suffer from, the porn you watch, your criminal record, all your contact information, age, gender, current and past home addresses, browsing history, and anything you can possibly think of. They know it all. If you've played any of the Watch Dogs games before, you know that you can use your phone to profile every single NPC you come across and see their income, job, and a fun fact about them. Well, that's real, as data brokers put together profiles of everyone, and for the most part, anyone can purchase that information. Those of you watching this video right now can purchase data about the people you know or strangers who live in your area. Want to find all the pregnant women that live near you? Well, that's actually a horrifying possibility that can be done quite easily.
This list is moms-to-be. So we bought this data, and it tells us you're pregnant. Yes. And you are. I am.
But it gets even worse than that, because data brokers can and will sell your information to insurance companies, which can result in higher premiums for you. Now, you may be asking me, Jason, how is all of this legal? And to be honest with you, I have no fucking idea, and I don't care to research why, because there should be no justification for it. It's a complete invasion of people's privacy, and it's honestly sad that more people aren't making a bigger deal about it. There's also more to it than just the things you say and do on the internet, because now car companies themselves are getting in on the action. Modern vehicles with their new technologies can and will record your driving habits and sell that information off to data brokers. whether it's your speed and acceleration to how often you brake at the last minute. Additionally, some cars have in-cabin cameras that monitor your eyes to make sure you're always watching the road. There's even a patent out there by Ford that would detect not only when your vehicle is speeding, but use the exterior cameras to measure the speed of nearby cars and report any violations to the police. And while we're talking about
That's
police,
grimy.
let's move on to predictive policing, which is the combination of AI, data, and algorithms in order to forecast
Minority
when and where
Report.
crimes may occur. It's a controversial subject that seems almost seductive in nature. Enter years of historical crime data and use analytics in order to guide police action. But in reality, crime is far more nuanced than what AI and algorithms make it out to be. Arguably one of the top companies in America pushing forward with predictive policing technology is Palantir, one of the most divisive corporations in the nation, but most people don't even know what they actually do. In short, Palantir is a software company that specializes in data and AI. Specifically, they create digital infrastructures that allow people to combine diverse data sets into a single platform. Their most successful technology is called Gotham, which is a platform designed for threat identification and mission planning. Palantir originally got their start in the Middle East, assisting America with the war on terror, before aiding Israel in their genocide against the Palestinians, allegedly, where they now find themselves helping the government domestically here in the States. One of their main contracts is with ICE, but they also work with the FBI, local and state police, and several other government agencies. When you start to pull all these different threads together, you realize that Watch Dogs wasn't some far-off depiction of reality, it was just a simplified version of what actually exists. The main difference being that with Watch Dogs, all of this power and information is centralized into one
Yeah, so
corporation,
they made it
whereas in
whatever.
reality, it's scattered across dozens of companies, databases, and systems. But I'm going to ask the same question with Watch Dogs 2 that I asked with the first game. Does it actually say anything about what we, the people, should do? Again, like the last one, not really, but it does offer more compared to the first.
It does say it. Become a hacker and hack the evil fucking government. That's the answer. Don't nobody want to save evil or revolution. Y'all be dancing around that shit. I'm not.
Game. In Watch Dogs 2, the main character, Marcus, is a member of a hacker activist group called DedSect. Over the course of the main game, they attack corrupt corporations and individuals in order to protect the public good. But unfortunately, this is an idealized version of hacktivism, as in the real world it's way more complicated, just like its depiction of data and surveillance. Hacker groups like Anonymous do attack corporations and governments, and while they have done some good, more often than not, real-life hackers are self-interested. Either they hack corporations and try to get money out of them, or they try to push their own political agenda instead of doing something for the sole benefit of helping as many people as possible.
Exactly.
Which sucks, because I would love for a real-life hacker to bless my bank account.
As our 1,000th customer, you've won $1,000 cash. What? I can't believe it! Carol, this thing gave me $1,000.
The Watch Dogs series got a third and what looks to be final game in 2020 with Watch Dogs Legion. The first two games were very distinct from one another with their tones and atmospheres, and Legion continues that trend by being a completely different beast entirely. Watch Dogs 1 and 2 were both set around the same time as their respective release dates. However, Legion takes place in the not-so-distant future, sometime around 2030. The first game served as an introduction to corporate surveillance and data collection. The sequel was a proper critique of those concepts, and now Watch Dogs Legion acts as a warning to what this all could eventually lead to with its dystopian depiction of future London. At the beginning of the game, we witnessed the fictional London bombings, which were carried out by a group known as Zero Day. However, DedSect was framed for the attack. The bombings act as a vehicle for the government to increase surveillance, security, and control over the city and its people. I wonder if this was inspired by anything in the real world. After the London bombings, a private military company known as Albion takes over the city's law enforcement duties. With them, plus the laws and mandates passed by the British government, London becomes one of the most surveilled and heavily guarded cities in the world. VPNs are now illegal, certain search terms can get you on a watch list, removing specific pre-installed apps on your phone will get the police's attention, Albion has the authority to stop and search anyone they deem suspicious, people have to carry their IDs with them at all times or else they can be detained indefinitely or deported, checkpoints have been established everywhere, surveillance drones fly in the sky, and much more. Back in 2020, Watch Dogs Legion seemed like a far-fetched dystopian reality. However, as time gets closer to the year that Legion took place in, the more our world resembles that of the game. There hasn't been any sort of false flag moment here in America over the past few years like the London bombings, but despite that, we have ill-trained ICE officers patrolling the streets and profiling citizens they think could be illegal. We have states proposing VPN bans. Minorities, while not legally required, are highly encouraged to carry their IDs with them at all times, and sadly, much more. Sure, Legion got the fashion sense and car designs wrong, but Ubisoft ended up getting a lot of things right with their future predictions. Even the surveillance drones, which many might not think we have here in America, but in fact we do. do. Over 1,500 municipal and federal police departments across the country operate unmanned aircraft, with drones being used for a plethora of different reasons. However, more recently, drones have been used for surveillance. Many of the recent ICE protests have had drones scanning crowds of people, and in cities like Philadelphia, drones are being used for a source of information during arrest. And with everything going on in the UK right now, between the Online Safety Act and digital ID requirements, it seems like London was the perfect choice as the setting for Watch Dogs Legion. Overall, whether they intended to or not, Ubisoft got a lot of things right when crafting the world and politics of Watch Dogs. While obviously simplified, the series focuses on how corporations surveil the public, collect their data, and work with the police in order to have more control over society. My goal with this video is to inform people and wake them up to what is not only going on right now, but what this country and world has been building up to over the past several decades. Knowledge is power, and we all have to stay informed in order to protect our right to privacy. Don't let governments and corporations trick you into believing that we have to give up our rights in order to make the public safer. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing.
All right. This is Matrix versus Reality. Part 35, talking about Watch Dogs. You already know what it is. I always feel like somebody's watching me, because they fucking are. Hashtag fuck the FBI, CIA, NSA, DOJ, and all those motherfucking alphabet boys. And from here to the UK, they watching us. So, you know, they watching us all over the world, and they don't give a fuck. And they ain't gonna stop until we kill their ass. Simple as that. They ain't gonna stop until we kill their ass. And what's even more crazy is we find out shit about these evil motherfuckers just by doing independent research, paperwork, following the money. But these motherfuckers just want to literally just watch us. So we need to fight back. So shouts out to everybody. Shout out to Nathan. Shout out to Eyes Wide Shut. Shout out to Live and Learn. And shout out to everybody who's going to watch this on the playback. This is Matrix versus Reality. I think it's part 35. I think part 35. So let's get it. We up out of here. Peace. I'll catch y'all later on. Got to go to sleep. Peace. And much love to my goddess Vonta. I'll be seeing you soon, baby.